category is Little Black Dress.
Welcome to Ms. Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the most seminal pieces of clothing that shaped fashion as we know it today.
There are things in fashion that never go out of style. Jeans, a white shirt, and a Chanel jacket.
Number 10. Diane von Furstenberg's wrap dress. Trends may come and go, but this beauty is forever. Designer Diane von Furstenberg took inspiration from the wraparound tops of ballet dancers and Japanese kimonos to create this effortless one-piece.
The wrap dress became something very magical because it gave women confidence. What was different about my dress is that it was in jersey. And because it was of jersey, it kind of sculpted the body.
The genius idea struck when she saw former US President Richard Nixon's daughter, Julie, on TV, speaking on Watergate, wearing one of her wrap blouses with a skirt. Thus, the wrap dress was born, representing freedom, versatility, and glamour all at once.
It's a dress that tights, that has a small waist, and so we have so many different types. We have wide skirt, we have long dresses, we have rompers for young girls.
It allowed working women to look put together and feel elegant without having to sacrifice comfort, thanks to the soft silk jersey material. Such needs haven't changed, so although first launched in the 70s, the wrap dress continues to be a wardrobe staple, even today.
You know, when a woman wakes up in the morning and you open your closet and you don't feel well and you don't know what to wear, and that moment that you go into your closet, you go for a friend. And the wrap dress is the best friend ever.
Number 9. The bikini. The OG two-piece has been around since before Christ and was worn by women in ancient Rome, as evidenced by mosaics found in Sicily. The bikini we know today, though, was popularized by Tinseltown.
Should I go classy?
You're Doris Day.
Or risque?
You're Mamie Van Doren. Will any other girl bother to compete?
Before the Hays Code enforced a sanitization of cinema, musicals like Gold Diggers of 1933 and Flying Down to Rio featured women in bikinis, sparking interest in these daring fits. They inadvertently became normalized when the Second World War led to the restriction of fabric used for women's swimwear. Finally, the French made it fashionable.
Louis Rayard unveiled the bikini, naming it after the World War II nuclear testing site Bikini Atoll. Rayard said it wasn't a true bikini unless it could fit through a wedding ring.
Dancer Micheline Bernardini modeled the swimsuit in Paris, causing a sensation. Despite sparking moral controversy worldwide, its popularity only rose when stars like Brigitte Bardot donned it, making it Vogue.
C'est peut-être pas bien le dire, mais je suis à toi. Bien à toi.
Number 8. Christian Louboutin high heels.
Hello, Santa?
And what would you like for Christmas, little girl?
I would like a shiny new pair of Louboutin shoes. You know, the ones with the high heels and the red bottoms?
The classic red bottoms are a status symbol in high society. They're especially popular among celebrities and have found a place in uncountable braggadocious songs, including those by Madonna and Ariana Grande.
They say which one I say now. I want all of them. Happiness is the same price as red bottom.
These red soles were conceived in the 90s when Christian Louboutin noticed the stunning shade of crimson his assistant had been painting her nails with. In a stroke of brilliance, he decided to coat the bottom of a pair of heels in the red lacquer and instantly noticed the difference. An ordinary set of pumps had been transformed into a striking piece worth collecting. Clearly, his clients agreed because sales skyrocketed, causing the fad of stilettos to return with full force.
It's like something that everyone knows. So the second you see the red bottoms, it's like, I know what those are. I know what those cost.
Number 7. The Burberry trench coat. If there's any fashion item that's truly timeless, it's this one. The Burberry trench was first introduced at the dawn of the 20th century. The brand's founder, Thomas Burberry, had just come up with the gabardine fabric.
It was breathable, it was waterproof, and it was double-breasted, making it the must-have accessory for high-ranking explorers, travelers, and soldiers.
Naturally, coats made with this material were utilitarian and began to be used on expeditions to combat harsh weather conditions at the poles. Upon demand, they were customized for military use and caught on when they made their appearance on the silver screen.
Louis, I think this is the beginning of a beautiful friendship.
Humphrey Bogart wearing a trench coat in Casablanca was enough to start a trend, which found momentum when Audrey Hepburn sported a similar Macintosh in Breakfast at Tiffany's. With gender-neutral appeal, the trench became an irreplaceable part of modern style.
The practicality, the versatility, the quality. I mean, I'm just as happy with the Burberry trench coat as an evening wrap as I would be with an opera coat.
Number 6. The miniskirt. The rising hemline, trailblazed by rebellious young women, was once met with much brouhaha.
Wherever and whenever these abbreviated fashions appear, they command attention, while spectators exchange comments, opinions, and, depending on gender, unabashed enthusiasm. It's enough to make a fellow want to go to market every day in the week.
Although short skirts were nothing new, considering they were fairly common thousands of years ago, modesty was an issue the modern world had lots of opinions on. So when Josephine Baker showed up at the Folies Bergère in Paris wearing a rubber banana skirt, she challenged those norms.
Et c'est cette fascination qui est à la fois malsaine et positive. Positive dans le sens où je pense que les gens sont admiratifs de sa liberté, même s'ils ne l'appelleront pas comme ça, ceux qui la consomment sur scène.
Over the next few years, short skirts became a thing of the future as they were featured in sci-fi works. It was only when American and British teenagers started cropping their skirts in the 60s that fashion houses caught on to the craze. Designers like Mary Quant and André Courrèges put miniskirts on the runway, and the rest, as they say, is history.
You know, when you get bored, you start with the long one. When you get bored, you sort of pull it off and have it a bit shorter. You get really bored, you could pull it off and have it shorter again. And when you're really bored, you can turn it into a sweater.
Number 5. Jeans. Skinny or baggy, blue or grey, there are innumerable varieties of denim pants in the market today. According to the documentary Riveted, The History of Jeans, it all started with captive African people in America who, by their knowledge of indigo, created the first iteration of blue jeans.
In Africa, the cloth is considered the next layer to the skin. It holds the person's soul, their spirit. Africans have had a long history of working indigo and knew the special process involved in making the dye-in and dyeing cloth.
Levi Strauss and Jacob Davies added rivets to the fabric, making the trousers ideal for working-class Americans doing manual labor. Cowboys were particularly fond of denim, and those fond of cowboys, usually women, naturally romanticized the garment. Hollywood bad boys Marlon Brando and James Dean made them even cooler, and soon jeans were everywhere. Today, denim is used for tops, bottoms, jackets, dresses, and more, and its popularity is showing no signs of waning.
They are universal and individual at the same time. In the history of clothing, there is nothing like that.
Number 4. Saint Laurent's Le Smoking. YSL's first ever women's tux from 1966 was for the bold and beautiful.
Avec la collection Libération, tu as fait scandale.
It gets its name from a men's suit that prevented cigar smoke from settling on one's outfit in a smoking area. Through Le Smoking, Saint Laurent wanted to enhance its wearer's femininity by contrasting it with the angular tux. However, it didn't immediately stick with his clientele, so he took the price down a notch and marketed it to a younger consumer base who lapped it up.
We're getting towards 1968 and storming the barricades, and what did a woman need? She needed her pantsuit.
It wasn't long before greater fame followed. Bianca Jagger, ex-wife of the Rolling Stones' Mick Jagger, paired a Le Smoking blazer with a skirt on their wedding day. Slowly but surely, the tux became a signature look for stylish women who were unbothered by social conventions.
You either follow or you lead, yeah, I'm talking about you. I'll keep on blaming the machine, yeah, I'm talking about it. Talking about it.
Number 3. The Chanel tweed jacket. Coco Chanel prioritized comfort above anything else when designing this legendary piece during the Jazz Age.
Permettre aux femmes de bouger aisément, ne pas se sentir déguisées, ne pas changer d'attitude, de manière d'être. selon la robe dans laquelle on les a fourrés.
She was inspired by the tweed used in Scottish workwear, which her then lover, the Duke of Westminster, Hugh Grosvenor, often wore. It was a rough fabric, but Coco softened it by blending in cotton, wool and silk. Thus a lighter material was produced, which lent itself wonderfully to the relaxed structure of the Chanel jacket. Decades later, the item got its second wind, emerging in stark opposition to the cinched silhouette of Dior's new look. Coco's jackets opted for a liberating yet flattering shape, which was both refreshing and empowering.
It was an incontrovertible success. The international press, hungry for modernity and change, acclaimed the style and allure of Chanel. She made the front page of magazines worldwide. The clients followed. The most beautiful women were soon seen wearing the Chanel jacket.
When Karl Lagerfeld took up the mantle from the Mademoiselle, the jackets evolved while maintaining their core, remaining evergreen.
The jacket lends itself to all metamorphoses, adapts to all daring creations. Today, almost 60 years after its creation by Gabrielle Chanel, the jacket has become the cornerstone of contemporary fashion.
Number 2. The Hermès Birkin bag. This lucrative bag was born from a simple request.
She had her signature straw tote bag. She was shoving it in an overhead compartment and it fell out, it tumbled out, everything fell to the floor. And the gentleman sitting next to her said, "Why don't you have a bag with pockets?" And she said, "I will when Hermès makes me one."
Hermès CEO Jean-Louis Dumas met actress and singer Jane Birkin on a flight in the 80s, where she mused about a roomy handbag she could give up her trusty wicker basket for. Rumour has it that the Birkin was sketched on the plane itself. Unfortunately, when the bag first came out, it didn't make a big splash. Being name-dropped in an episode of Sex and the City finally got the demand going.
Look what I got. Some nice man dropped it off at my hotel this morning. Hermès. It's a Birkin.
Today, a huge part of the frenzy surrounding the Birkin is because of its exclusivity. They're unbelievably expensive, which makes them more coveted, and each piece has a waitlist. So as long as the Birkin remains a privilege, its desirability will continue to rise.
You know, I think my computer cords would fit in this perfectly.
This is not a computer cord kind of purse, Ace. You know what? Why don't you just call my sister? She'll fill you in. It's like a thing, you know?
Oh, it's a thing. A beautiful leather grown-up thing.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications.
Number 1. The Little Black Dress. The concept of an LBD introduced by Chanel in the Roaring '20s remains an influential force in fashion to this day. It was this dress that severed the connection of black garments with mourning and gave them an invigorating, versatile twist.
Big deal, it's just a little black dress.
To the untrained eye. But add a faux jacquard scarf and a pair of pearl button earrings, and look.
Over several decades, variations of this dress have been produced by almost every fashion house, and it has never gone out of style. Givenchy created Audrey Hepburn's unforgettable black dress from Breakfast at Tiffany's, and Christina Stambolian gave Princess Diana her famed revenge dress.
She changed course and opened up her closet, and there was this sexy black dress that in fact she had bought 3 years earlier, but at the time deemed too out there, too risque, too eye-grabbing to wear. Flash forward 3 years and she was all set to put it on.
Not just celebs, but any ordinary woman could transform into the femme fatale with an LBD. Thanks to its accessibility in this case, ubiquity did not devalue the dress, but uplifted it.
I think that quality of timelessness that we associate with the little black dress, because of the concepts that really lay at the heart of this iconic design. Ideas of kind of a simplified silhouette, of an understated elegance.
Which grailed luxury fashion piece is on your wish list? Tell us in the comments below.
Let's just go, Emily, now, and leave that purse.
I was going to leave the purse, Richard. 21-year-old girl has a Birkin bag and a grown woman doesn't.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from Ms. Mojo. And be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.